Ooh, it feels good. It feels good when you are redeemed. I was worried there in game one, but I've been calling G2 the best team in the West. Don't get me wrong, the West currently is in shambles. The best team in the West is still, it's like a side competition, it's a side quest, okay? It's like, you know, we're not talking about how well G2 is going to do in quarters, what's going to happen later, or FlyQuest in the next matchup. That doesn't matter. We're focusing on who is the best in the West. And if you watched all of my content leading up to this, I said FlyQuest is a rose blooming in a desert with no water. FlyQuest have managed to do something very difficult, and that is be a strong team coming out of North America. Because looking at this year in particular, with C9's collapse, Team Liquid's collapse, everybody's collapse, FlyQuest had no resistance, no solo queue, no nothing. They could only go to internationals and pray that they pick up enough business there. And in that process, regionally, lane face bot lane, sloppy. Bwipo through leads here and there, wasn't sharp. Coming into this World Championship, very small boot camp. They cannot, of course, get into gear. Cannot get into gear. So they came through. They came through. They came through. They came through. And G2, of course, improved. And improved. And improved. The drought is finally over for Europe. G2 made it happen. Let's take a look at the gameplay, all right? Let's take a look at the gameplay. G2, macro-wise, started leveling up. We can hear Dom molding. He's molding. He's just screaming. Dom is just screaming in the other room, bro. He's just screaming in the other room. He's just angry in the other room, guys. He needs to blow off some steam. He needs to relax. He needs to relax. Let's take a look at game number one, guys. Game number one, this was a tragedy. I can't believe how many, Wayne Gretzky, he said, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Well, Bard threw 2 ultimates in a 36-minute game. 2 ultimates. He didn't even want to use ult in the tower to block it from Herald. It was terrible. My man, I don't know, no Bard ults, no Maokai ults, no nothing. No nothing. This was a G2 game where I think, based on the conditions in the early lane phase, that they could have won. But for some reason, they never pulled the trigger. And when they did, I was looking at this game, and I was looking at Labrov, I was looking at Skimont. I was like, damn, you guys are choking it. Like, I saw some mistakes from BB in the 1v2. I saw Caps getting caught on side where it wasn't necessary. Like, the fact that there was no bottles thrown, nothing. Labrov should not be playing this champ ever again. The only European that should be playing this champ, evidently, is Tromboni and, of course, Mr. Mickey X. That shit was ugly. That shit was ugly, bro. That shit was ugly. Bottom Maokai didn't get it done. Caitlyn did some error pathing. I feel like G2 was just kind of falling apart here. And I think in this particular game, Wukong found a very beautiful engage on, of course, this just found a beautiful Wukong engage on the Drake situation, which was massive. The whole game plan here from G2 was to invite the Wukong, play Bard Maokai into it, pick Caitlyn for the lane, and I think the plan wasn't bad. It's just that they were not good at playing these champs. It was quite disgusting how they played. Very disappointing. Caps got caught on side, Rek'Sai died in 1v2, and lost his summon and his perma, never had flash coming into a fight. And Bard, I just want to show you guys this fight, G2 versus Fly, game 1. Let's take a look at this. This one will make you, give you heart pain, all right? Look at this Drake 3, okay? Look at this Drake 3. It is so damn basic, and I think it's a big signal for me that there is some choke on the line, Look at this. G2, don't pull out the damn Drake. Dom. My man Dom is screaming. It's all good. He's in pain. Take a look at this, guys. G2 have a perfect situation to set up a clean dragon. Pull it out. Why do we pull it out? Because we want to be able to turn and play off of the dig bush. The dig bush because it's at the root of this mountainous phallic object. All right. They could have played from this bush, put the pink in it, and they could easily just put traps down here. Where are Hansama's traps? Why don't we pull it out? Why are we not playing to the strength of our damn champions? And somehow Busio puts this ward, and spots 5 people just circle jerking around the dragon. Makes me angry. Very upsetting. Very, very upsetting. And then Busio gets to enter all the way. Look at this trap line. What is this trap line? Inspired gets over the wall, snaps, and look at this. You have a Maokai ult that hits absolutely nobody. And then you have, of course, the Maokai W on a clone. Just awful. Just awful. And then for the rest of the game, like, you need to fish with your Maokai ult, with your Bard ult to see what's happening. But G2 was just so completely out of it that it was extremely, extremely disappointing. Extremely disappointing. Game number 2. Game number 2, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Whippo on Rumble is awful. Whippo on Rumble is awful. Because I feel like Whippo plays all champions the same way, bro. Like, he plays like he has a Sterax and a Renekton, and he plays like he's some big space maker no matter what. I don't know how he, like, every time there was a situation where Broken Blade just caught him, started, like, justice punching him, and he was, like, just getting, like, insane aerial time, you know? He was just in the air. I don't know what the hell Whippo was up to in this game. A lot of discussion around the Soraka. I think Soraka is something that can be picked into this composition specific. Like, let's take a look at the good, all right? Let's take a look at the good. Soraka into Rakan should be a good lane. Soraka into very limited engage should be, of course, very, very good for the game in the context of Soraki from Iraqi, right? Soraki from Iraqi is good against enemy 5 champs. The criticism towards Soraka, if anything, in this game is that I think it's very bad together with Xin and Annie. Sorry, not Xin Zhao, with Rumble and Annie, because the issue here is that blue side have no range threat. They have no range threat, so the fight will still be like a dry front to back where the enemy has Trundle, the enemy has Galio, Xayah. It's just dry front to back, right? And the issue is, I think if you're playing Annie and Rumble, you kind of want to have like some buttons, because the way fights should go is that Zinza goes first, he ults, breaks the fight, and you heal Soraka. That can be like a little bit dangerous against like Trundle, Galio, Xayah, Rakan, because the CC chain can be very, very like impacting, you know? Very, very impacting. Inspired interview? Really? Inspired interview?
And that we got the lead for enemy team, and I felt like our draft actually made some sense, and I think we had a way better approach to what we wanted to do. And it seemed pretty free to play, honestly. I felt like whenever we're stepping somewhere, it felt easy. I'm not sure how is it possible that we lost. I guess during the game it just felt like we were driving the game and it felt fine, and then something random happens and the game becomes lost. Yeah, it feels very weird.
He doesn't want to call out Whippo.
Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't feel like we were meant to lose.
Do you have an idea of like what the focal point is then for that improvement? You're saying right now I don't know, but I can't tell if you mean I don't know, or I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to flame anybody. I'm not trying to get into it here.
I don't know. I think we are really impatient as a team. I think we were in a really good spot to play both games that we lost, and
based. Yeah, good question, Dracos.
Nowhere because we are impatient when not much is happening, and I don't know if it comes from the fact that practice is going bad, and obviously if practice is going bad, you kind of feel like you need to do unnecessary stuff in order to win. But I think if you have that mentality, you are already a loser. Like, you shouldn't think that you have to do unnecessary stuff in order to win. I think you should keep calm in the game and just try to stick to the plan as you have as your team. To me, it seems like we have different plans, and we are trying to do different things, and that's why we are not connected well together, I guess.
Last question about the series before we look forward a little bit. Game 3, especially.
Good interview from
Dracos. You guys were on the ropes. You mounted a huge comeback. You found a couple angles for good fights, and then kind of all came crashing down once again. How do you reflect on that Game 3? What led to the initial comeback? You found that creative angle with Whippo. You found this dive onto Hansama. felt like you rested it back in your hands. What went wrong in those kind of final moments to lead to some of the catches, some of those team fights that turned back against you?
I'm not sure, honestly. I don't remember that well right now. I felt like our champs were spiking really hard. That in mid game, I felt like we were in a really good position because I don't really think Mundo is a good champ in the jungle, especially if we are playing Azir mid. It felt like Quad did a really good
I
job
didn't think it was a
of,
great
not
Mundo
only
spot. This was just
behind
Skimon
the traps.
comfort,
I
you know.
think Alan did, Busio did so many good plays in order to put Azir in a good spot, and all we had to do was just group and play out the team fights well, but we just couldn't do it, I guess. I'm not sure, yeah.
What's the outlook coming in? You have a 2-2 matchup. There's a lot of potential opponents you could draw from. Is there anyone in particular you want to face, or are you just mostly focused on recovering from this loss?
Honestly, I didn't really think about it yet because I wasn't expecting us to lose. Because I think G2 is probably the weakest team that we could have faced. I think right now all the teams are gonna be stronger. So yeah, I don't really mind who we're gonna face. I think as long as we play better than we did now, we can win. But if we play to a similar level, I think it doesn't matter who we draw. We are gonna lose.
Inspired speaking the truth.
Well, hoping that level steps up. Thanks for taking
No,
the time, man.
he said, like he asked us, like, what he thinks about his future opponent, but he said, like, all the opponents we can face now are way harder than what G2 was. So if we play like we did today, we're gonna lose. So we just have to play better.
I mean, honestly, how did you feel about the game?
I think it's like my concern about Flag, like the way Bwipo played. He has had games where he played like this, not on Renekton, but I remember like there were games that were like really disgusting from Bwipo, like where he like over pushes, dies. I thought Renekton is gonna have it in the bag because he's very Chinese on this champ.
I thought when I saw this draft, he came here to win, felt that they had a good draw, and they lost that opportunity. And that's really good.
Into like
he was really introspective, as you would be. And what you said
I think this Jhin lock-in is so cucked though. I really don't like it. Like, I think if you're picking Jhin and you go 20 CS behind, dry 2v2, I think honestly, like, you are trolling. Because at that point, I think you just fucking slam Kai'Sa and make sure you scale better. At least with how the series was going, my read would be, bro, this game is decided at 30 minutes, like later on, like so little activity. I would just like want to play Kai'Sa, you know?
I hope not, because the ceiling of this team is high.
Yeah, I think you can like be behind in a game and still see angles.
I think you should just win because
I think that's like probably
honestly, like the way I felt about
feel
this,
like there is a game plan,
I think
something we can
Flag
really
is
try to
like
back
this is
into.
something that I said.
I think in those sorts of situations, it can be all the more
They feel
devastating
so much
because
more
you can
pressure,
see
like in this
the silver
situation, being
lining.
like
Yeah.
first team like G2 and like.
Yeah.
But I thought that this was like the easiest I've seen them lose those winning positions. Like the game.
I don't know. Bwipo was a massive disappointment today. Like, the Rumble game.
You think it's that time of the month?
Oh, yo.
No, like the time where he ends, I mean.
What can I say, bro? It is what it is. Nah, but I think also like Quad was also like inting fights, I think.
Yeah.
Like he got caught on mid, and then like on the top fight after YamatoCannon just fucking drives in like he's a tank.
I looked at it again. Even if he gets caps and they trade 1-for-1, they lose hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then this final fight, I went back and looked at the pip, and Renekton just dry walks in. I don't know what the fuck that was.
With vision, didn't they put a pink down? And he didn't have Sterex for like 3 seconds. It's like they could have like just went any time, you know? Like they had time.
That was crazy.
Bro, I don't know. I felt like G2 was trolling so hard the way they fought in the middle of midwave. And like the way that they fought here, and they just like I felt like they had full control of Nash, right?
Bro.
Like they could bring them closer to Nash and then keep Jack's flank and whatever. But they just like fight in the middle of midwave. Cubon just doesn't press W, like doesn't press all, gets CC.
Flag was like they were so much better at lane assignments. Like Jesus' lane assignments are full fucking trash. They lost burnt TPs always, so corrected.
The way Whippo fucking lost like 2 turrets top just for getting his recall canceled.
Yeah. And then like he should have died, by the way. Mundo should just fucking flash E him.
Yeah.
And then he flashes on Nautilus instead. Nice.
Honestly, I don't know if all the teams he could get are easier, because I think MKoi is gonna win versus Team Secret Whales, right?
Oh yeah, it's true.
So like I think whoever wins this, I guess they've already played Secret Whales. So if Secret Whales fucking wins, then it's super bad for them. And then they're gonna choose between what? BLG fucking T. Oh no, they've already played T1, right?
They already played T1.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. It's being a doomer.
BLG. Did they play top esports? They haven't played top esports.
They didn't play top esports.
So they can play top esports, Gen G, whoever wins loses that,
Mm-hmm.
or CFO, or BLG, or maybe Influx.
Yeah.
Bro, I want to get food somewhere.
Yeah. I'm just gonna wrap up my review. I'll be quick, yeah?
Okay.
I already talked about game 2. Okay, what else, guys? What else? We have so we talked about the Soraka. This game, plain and simple, there's nothing to look at, really. I think Broken Blade did a great job of like hovering. He secured the objective by just having prio. And then I think that the early game here, you just have so much more initiative if you're G2. That's why, like, I think Soraka is a strong champion. I just think it's not good with any Rumble. I think you have so little options, in my opinion, about how you want to play the game. And I think it's unrealistic for Xin Zhao to start fights in this game. I don't think there was necessarily a champion that is going to make their draft that much better. I just think that this 1, 2, 3 is just not good. So I don't want to blame Soraka. I don't think this 1, 2, 3 is good. That's my problem, right? That's my take. The Braum ban was good. I think the Braum ban is like, it's okayish because you're picking Rakan. So what do you mean you're banning Braum? And enemies playing Braum? You know, this is not the way. You know, this is not the way. So, can you tell Dom to turn on the vote from today, bro? Like, I'm not his fucking secretary. First, and also we're streaming from Korea, so it really bugs all the time. So, like, I just think that this 1, 2, 3 is weak. Because even if they have like melee support or whatever, like it's not going to be the greatest. Like Soraka is good against these champs. Like Soraka is good against the comp, but I don't think Soraka saves the comp from 1, 2, 3. Because I think if you're playing that and you don't end up on like Kaiser, Rel, 4, 5, I don't see how you play blue side comp, as example, you know. Game number 3, I honestly thought this is like Dr. Mundo was picked here, but I don't think this is a good Dr. Mundo spot, by the way. I don't think this is a good Dr. Mundo spot. I think Dr. Mundo suffers here against Azir, Renekton, Sejuani. This game should have legit been over after Jax died. You know? Jax died on the gank, and that should have really like opened up the game. That should really open up the game. I understand why I picked Dr. Mundo. Maybe it was a strategic choice because Skimon was like really, you know, just farm-villing it. But I think also, if I'm preparing for these games, I'm looking at game 1 and 2, and I see they are slow damn games. I don't fucking pick Jhin here ever. You pick Jhin to match lanes. And then I think here, if he played Kaiser, they would have had better scaling, and I think it would have been way better for the game. And this Mundo would have been useless. I really didn't like the Jhin lock-in, because in the end, most of the lanes today, like, straight up, even this matchup, Lucian Soraka, Zyra Khan came out of the lane even. Zyra Khan came out of the lane even, which is really bad. They came out of the lane even, and Soraka died not burning her flash. You have Varus and Rel winning 20 CS ahead against Jhin, which is really bad. Game 1, Caitlyn into Koki, I can accept that, because in the isolated 1v1, Caitlyn just beat the shit out of him and they matched the swap, right? So that was very good. But this game 3, Flacos was in a very winning position, in my opinion. But then Bwipo gave like a shutdown-esque situation where Jax could catch up on Trinity Force. So basically, the Bwipo mistake was very big, because basically, when he died, he gave Broken Blade Trinity Force gold. Because look at Broken Blade's economy. Broken Blade's economy is now in the toilet, if you guys pay attention, right? His economy is in the toilet. His economy is in the toilet. And we're going to have the situation now where Renekton... Wait, when did he die? He died here. So Bwipo is just... He's just... I don't know what he's doing here. It's such an unnecessary risk to like have proxy to push. Doesn't have Mundo information. They gave Broken Blade a kill. And look, he walks out on the map with Trinity Force. And that makes such a big difference. And then the other difference is that Quad misplays here on bot lane, which means that Jax wins out the situation on bot. And then he wins out the situation on bot and then TPs. And FlyQuest are fully committed into this fight when Jax has TP advantage over Azir. And here Skimon gets a lot of procs on his item. They get 2 kills. They get Herald, which is a big deal. Later on, there was the Atakan situation, and Quad just couldn't keep it in his pants. It wasn't only the question of, there wasn't only the question of like Whipple being impatient on the Renekton, but Quad also didn't know the memo of how to fight. Like here, look how he uses his soldier, uses his Q, and then here Quad just is so impatient, just sends it fully. Like he needs to just keep stabbing. Can't be the one going for these engages. He's the one with all the damage. If he dies first, then Mundo 1v9s these fights and he can't win. Broken Blade won the 1v1 there against the Renekton 2, which matters, and this of course was very, very costly. This was a good angle. I just didn't like G2's invade. And then later on in the game, it was the same. It's like we had situations where there were team fights where Quad would just be the first one to die. Look how OP Scumond is if Quad is in positions where he dies the way he just did. Look at Quad here. Look at Quad. Scumond kites back. He's 16. He gets Varos ulted dry. You know? This is unacceptable here for Quad. Very, very bad from Quad. Then Broken Blade stuns Whipple as well, which is a really, really big deal too. Labrov survives. And then Scumond just goes where he pleases, right? Because Masu didn't even have IE at this point, which was really, really bad for the game, right? And then the final fight here, this one, we had this turnaround here. Quad was holding ult. You could see that Quad realized how he needs to play the fights because when he played slow, he was quite a presence. The ult on Broken Blade was super, super nice, and FlyQuest actually got the Nasher. And the craziest thing is, while we were watching this damn replay, where G2 just threw this fight, right, and played pretty, pretty terrible, look at this pip here in the corner. This is so absurd from my side, because they just blue trinketed in the bush, and I have no idea why Renekton, as Renekton here, just face shakes into the enemy. They could just place a ward with Nautilus and have a good time. And then that's it, you know? But Whipple just got toasted. And Varos does so much damage at this point, you know? Very, very much damage at this point. As like, Whipple is known to be, like, I never liked, you know, this is a beautiful Scumond. I never liked Whipple on Rumble, but I thought Renekton, like, his best champ, he's gonna smurf it. But I think these are the imprecisions that made me think that FlyQuest is worse. Like I've said, my take about FlyQuest was, I think if FlyQuest was in Europe with the same roster, they would win the league. I think so. If they were in Europe with the same roster, they would win the league and be the best in the West easily, by far. But these imprecisions come from fucking bad exercise the whole year, you know? That's my take. If there was 5 weeks ahead of Worlds, they had bootcamp time, and you could see Whipple and Masu and Busio and Inspired be 1K LP on Korean Ladder, I think that would have also given me, you know, given me a lot of fucking hope and excitement. But then G2 would be better as well? Nah, bro. Like, what the fuck are you guys saying? It's like, oh, if Genji was in Europe, then G2 would become better than Genji. Like, what are we talking about? Insane take. G2 has better understanding of the game. Is right now just a jungle soup? Nah, just like, who are you, bro? 12 messages in. 12 messages in. 12 messages. He comes in and talks. We send you, bro. We put you on a boat. Put you on a boat. Like you take a trip, 600-second trip around the canal and come back after thinking about what you're writing. Insane take. Bro, imagine you are in a region where your solo queue is 30-minute queue. Your solo queue is 30-minute queue. You have 8 teams in the league. You are playing against this guy's toast. Your biggest competitor in C9 is falling apart. Like, what are we talking about? The second best team in the league is a guest team. Come on, man. Come on. But hey, G2 quarterfinals. Come on now. G2 quarterfinals. I think, in my opinion, if I'm gonna be the arbiter, the arbiter. That's the word I'm looking for. Arbiter. The arbiter of fairness. I do think that FlyQuest, if they made it through without beating a single LCK LPL team, I think that's unfair. They lost to T1, beat VKS, and then they beat Team Secret Wales. If they beat G2 to make quarters, I think that's fraudulent as fuck. So let's, you know, they should go through. let's be real. Fly played really well. Bwipo flipped the game. Bro. Fly was played really good, except all the things that they did that are shit. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Come on now. Don't be that guy. Flyquas were better in lane assignments, I think. They had solid drafts, in my opinion, today. It was okay. But it's like, guys, Maso didn't have a good series, in my opinion. They laned pretty poorly on bot lane. Quad didn't know how to team fight on Azir. Bwipo made mistakes too, but if you want to shore it up to only Bwipo is the problem, I think that's really chill. Bwipo didn't play good in game 2 and 3 for sure, I think. But come on, man. Come on. So there's that. There is that, bros. I think G2 just leaned into comfort here in game 5. And sometimes that's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do, you know? They leaned into comfort. I think most of the draws that G2 can have, I think in 4-5, like in quarters, I feel like G2 is gonna be underdog in most of the ones that can happen. CFO versus HLE, guys, this series, I think you can just summarize it to CFO having just really, really bad team fighting around objectives. Like, CFO like played so bad around the objectives. The game 2 should have been such a free win, and for some reason they just couldn't. They just couldn't have one good team fight that was good around the objective. It's just very, very bad. I couldn't believe it. CFO did so many good things at accruing leads, fighting around jungle, pressuring. I think that they did really, really good. But that team fighting was just so damn terrible on objectives. There's so many situations where Vi had no flash, people had no flash, and they didn't like find the right angle, the right turn, and that was very, very disappointing. But I do think that people were really, really overhyped on CFO because they won against Fnatic, right? I don't need to say more. And at the same time, in terms of their draft read, if you look at their draft cohesion, right? If you just look at their draft read, look at CFO's draft read. Their draft read, Ryze, Kiana, Sion with Azir, Orianna out. Like, this is a very, very good draft read, right? This is a fantastic draft read, and they were ahead of the curve on, of course, the identity that is the Sion, which is really, really good, you know? The identity of the Sion, they understood this very, very early. The one game they won against CFO as well, against AL was also, they got Sion in the 4-5 with Trundle Ban, and then Wukong Koki with Sion. These are all big winners at the tournament. And I think that CFO, they are very, very snappy in their approach, and I love how Dogo plays, and it's really, really fun to watch. But I do think that they gained a little bit too much stock, you know? They didn't get too much stock here, which matters, which really, really matters. And then against HLE, that game 2 should have been a win. That should have been a win. But for some reason, it just, you know, as I mentioned, for some reason, well, their team fighting was the big reason, which it was just terrible, you know, really, really bad. Let's take a look at the matchups of tomorrow, and I'll just give some quick predictions and quick shots. Okay. I think MKOI should win. At least, like, as an EU team, I feel like MKOI show a little bit of life in the areas that Team Secret Wales could be good in. I think Team Secret Whale mid lane is just way too bad. He's just way too bad. He's gonna get farmed. I think Georgia Pune's gonna just smash him. And Genji versus TS, I think Genji should be the better team against TS. But TS, every time they played against Genji, like historically, if you want to look at it, obviously both teams have changed here and there. Top Esports has always done well into Genji. So it will be interesting to watch. I feel like Top Esports come in with no pressure. I think that's where you can get the best version of Top Esports. But I also feel like if Top Esports win 1-0 up, I feel like then they'll feel the pressure, and then, of course, they're going to be ass. So there's that. Somebody asked about Dr. Mundo Jungle. I'll just answer it again, and then we can wrap up. Dr. Mundo Jungle against Azir is very tricky. You don't get a lot of value there. The Azir has a lot of DPS against you, and I do think that Dr. Mundo, it just fits how Skumont plays, so it makes his biggest weakness into his strength, which is just farm villing it up, and that's all he did. And then he was strong in the team fights, got to 16 at a good point in time, and I think Skumont is just very comfortable there, and I think that's what it was. Jax, Mundo, Varos. These are all full comfort champions for G2 and champions that necessarily no other team's going to be playing, right? There's teams that are not going to play these champs at all. And there's that, you know, there's that. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next stream. Hopefully I can fix the internet because it's been so trash. I wish you guys all the best. Thank you very much, guys. Peace, peace, peace. Only love, understanding. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I want to reach 100K. My dream is to reach 100K this year. That's my mission, 100K. I want to get that plaque, guys. So I would really, really appreciate it. I would really, really appreciate it if you guys subscribe to me, guys. Thank you very much. All the content that happens during Worlds, of course, gets put up here, and this is how you can keep up to date. Okay, bye-bye.